Bail-ins are here. That's right. I'm not talking about what happened in Cyprus. I'm talking about now a worldwide thing. They're now stating that in Europe, they're looking at reaching their hands into the banking system and pulling out your hard-earned dollars. Exclusive EU executive sees personal savings used to plug long-term financing gap. This is what I've been warning about for quite some time. As soon as I saw what was happening in Cyprus, that was officially the point where I realized the bail-in strategy would then be used worldwide. Let's go into it right now. This is out of Reuters. The savings of the European Union's 500 million citizens could be used to fund long-term investments to boost the economy, which is a joke. Because if you're taking money away from the economy, how is it going to somehow stimulate the economy? That's this backwards logic that they have. But of course, the people are just sort of glancing over it and not really realizing. Let's go on. And help plug the gap left by banks since the financial crisis, an EU document says. So there's a gap, quote unquote gap, where these banks, had their money. Now, what happened to that money? Well, it was gambled away. So, do you give an alcoholic a drink so that he can wean himself off? That's not how this works. You gotta go cold turkey. You have to pull that band-aid off in one swipe. This system needs to fold. That's the only way for this to work. I'm going to go on because this is a few more things I have to cover. They want to mobilize more personal pension savings for the long-term financing. That's right. Your pension funds, your savings are going to be used in order to finance the banks. Those who performed all those criminal activities in the whole bailouts and even the bail-ins more recently, now they're talking about going and dipping their hands into your piggy bank. This is what I warned about. I was talking about this before it happened, and I know specifically why, because they said they would do it. It's documents like this that come out that are released, and they're saying, maybe we'll do this. As soon as they speak that type of language, get your money out of this damn system. It is going to rot, and I, for one, am not going to have my money in. It's already gone out of the system. I don't want a penny to be left for them. If you have a 401k, if you have an RRSP, a super, depending on where you live, your retirement fund, that money is gone. They are going to obliterate it. Do you understand? See, they use this as a scheme. Oh, just put your money in. We'll give it back when you're 65, I promise. And then, of course, we'll take that big chunk of tax off. But don't worry, you're going to get a steady income. You need that. Why? Because the pension provided by the government isn't enough. So you'll need that fund. So just, invest in it. Invest in it. It's a great idea. You're going to get a great rate of return. But now that's an uninsured account. So they can stick their hands in and they can steal that. And they'll go for the retirement funds first because those are uninsured. And then when that money runs out, they're going to do the same thing again, and except it's going to be your savings account. The commission will consider whether the use of fair value or pricing assets at the going rate, right there, I'll stop right there for a second. They're going to revalue the currency. Now, I'm not saying that officially this is going to happen, but according to this EU document, they're talking about revaluing the assets. And of course, your money, your savings, your home, whatever it might be, is not going to be revalued up. It's going to be revalued down, and I'm talking a dramatic level. And then I continue on. In a new globally agreed accounting rule. Global agreements are one step towards global governance. And of course, they already have that with the G20, the G8. These are globally controlled institutions like the IMF. They are not elected individuals. They go off, they start making rules that you and I have not voted on, and yet we have our money, we have our laws decided by these people. We don't even elect them in, even if it is fake elections. At the very least, let's have this little show, a puppet show going on. But no, that's not how it works. There's unelected bureaucrats and technocrats running the system, and now they're talking about sticking their hands in and stealing your pension funds, stealing your savings. And guess what? 99% of the people around you, in your family, your neighbors, in your neighborhood, they have their money in the system. And when that money is gone, guess who's going to be rioting on the streets? Guess who's going to be tearing up the stores for looking for food? Why? Because their family is starving. This is not the future I want to live in. Let me go on very quickly. This is my book. This is a quote right out of the book itself. Governments will go bankrupt in the near future. Euro contagion is already underway with the massive bailouts needed to support the system. And I go on, but I just wanted to note that right there. I talked about the euro contagion because the euro is the weakest point because they try to use one interest rate and one currency for all these different nations, which should never have been allowed. The euro region is the weakest link. Now, it's not the most. Obviously, with the US, it's much worse, but the euro is the weakest link. At least I could foresee that being one of the first dominoes to fall when this all comes to a head. Now, do you want your money in this system? I say absolutely not. People are asking me, we're doing consultations one-on-one, and they're asking me, what should I do with my money? The first thing I say is, where's your retirement fund? You got a 401k? You got an RRSP? Well, we got a problem. And that's how I want to leave it with you guys. If you already are on the insiders, I want to thank you. That's where I'm getting my best support. Everyone on the insiders so far that's been contacting me, you're awesome, guys. Thank you very much. This is something that we have to dig deeper into. That's what the insiders is all about. And one of the things that I don't mention often enough is that if you're on the insiders, you got a way to get in touch with me if they shut me down here on YouTube. I've been, so many of my videos, they say I'm using copyright content when obviously I am not. I do not use copyright content, and they keep saying that and saying that and saying that, and eventually I fear that they may shut me down. And of course, they'll wait until I have a good 10,000 subscribers probably before they do that. But the point is, if I get you guys on the insiders and put your email address in here, I will be able to then email you and say, okay, I'm at this area now, I'm on this channel or this website or whoever it might be. So, get on there if you can, and I'll be sending out occasional emails that I'm working on now. Right now, that's pretty quiet there. But anyway, I really want to thank all the new supporters, all the new listeners, and everybody. And I will talk to you very soon.